Hey everyone, and thanks for jumping back into the cryptoverse. Today we're going to talk about Chainlink, and we're going to be comparing it to Bitcoin and Ethereum and look to see where we might be within many of the subcycles that Chainlink has gone through. So if you guys like the content, please subscribe to the channel, give the video a thumbs up, and also check out the Telegram channel, which you can find a link to in the description below. Let's go ahead and jump in. So the first chart shows the ROI, or return on investment, of Link, Ethereum, and Bitcoin since inception. Okay? And the important thing you should recognize is that this is on a logarithmic scale. So yes, we have the ROI on a log scale. We normally do this because with crypto, you generally need to measure things over several orders of magnitude. Therefore, the log scale is the most prudent way to do that. We're also measuring time on a log scale here as well. And one of the nice things is, as compared to, say, Bitcoin and Ethereum, Link is still doing quite well. And the crazy thing, as I've said before with Chainlink, is that it actually has not lived through a bull market yet. Ethereum has. Ethereum basically came online in 2015, and that was essentially the beginning of the cryptocurrency bull market that peaked at the end of 2017, early 2018. So Link has seen incredible gains, despite the fact that for the majority of its existence, it has been in a bear market or an accumulation phase. So, like we've said before, we simply just don't know what Link is capable of during a bull market. Now, one of the things that's important to remember is that when Bitcoin volatility is very high, Link is likely not going to overperform Bitcoin. As most altcoins do, they will take a back seat to Bitcoin when Bitcoin is making its own significant moves in the market. But this is business as usual, and this is exactly what we expect every subcycle of Link against Bitcoin, and we'll get more into that as we move through the video. So you can see that Link, the ROI, despite the fact that it has not lived through a bull market, it is, it's doing pretty well, right? I mean, it's not up 100x from inception, but one more sub-cycle quick speculative bubble for Link, and we're probably, there's a good chance it could get there. So here, this chart shows the price of Chainlink as measured, it shows the price of Link on a log scale and color codes the price based on whether Bitcoin was above or below the 20-week moving average. So this is the reason why we talk about the 20-week is because historically speaking, it is the support line for Bitcoin in a bull market. And that is when altcoins like Chainlink tend to really shine. You can see back in 2017 when Link was launched, Bitcoin was above the 20-week, Link went parabolic. Then in the summer of 2019, Bitcoin was above the 20-week, Link went parabolic. A lot of coins did not gain on Bitcoin in terms of their valuation in 2019, but Link is one of the few ones that has consistently gained on Bitcoin, and we'll show that chart in a minute. Here, in the beginning of 2020, Link started going parabolic when Bitcoin was above the 20-week, but it was kind of a fake out. And in March, Bitcoin just took a huge dump. This was, during when the pandemic was first making its waves around the world, and times were changing and people were trying to figure out what was going on. The crypto market dumped, and so this parabolic move was cut short. We quickly recovered and then just continued on. And when we were at this point, what did we say? If you guys watch the channel, you remember, what did we say? We said it's just a matter of time. It's a matter of time before we see this type of move. Bitcoin's above the 20-week. It's just a matter of time. Now this time is somewhat different because Bitcoin, you can see historically speaking, Bitcoin dipped below the 20-week after these parabolic runs that Link has. However, this time it hasn't done that. And we've said before, we don't know what Link will do during a bull market. We're getting our first glimpse of it now because we've had these quick insights into what it can do because we see it go parabolic here, we see it go parabolic here, it started to do it here, and then again here. And normally after it retraced, that would be when Bitcoin would go below the 20-week moving average, and then the price of Link would more or less stay even until Bitcoin got back above the 20-week. Maybe it went down and then up, or up and then down, down and then up, but the price more or less stayed the same. So this time, however, Bitcoin is very far away from its 20-week moving average. At the time of this video, I think the 20-week moving average is around $11,900, give or take. But that's essentially where it is, and Bitcoin is very far away from it, and we're watching Link continue this move. So it's moving up. So in these, it moved up and retraced, and ultimately didn't do anything until Bitcoin got back above the 20-week. Here it's moved up, it's retraced, but it's kind of continuing this general slow, not necessarily that slow, move up. It's slow for Link, I guess, right? This move is slow for Link, but in the grand scheme, this is not a slow move. I will remind you that the price of Link was less than $2. It was like a dollar something back in March, and now it's over, it's around $12 to $13. I think it has a long way to go this market cycle. If you plot the Link Bitcoin valuation, you can see that no matter where Bitcoin is, the Link valuation against Bitcoin continues to slowly go up. Okay? And this is one of the reasons why we've identified this coin over a year ago as being one that is too risky, in my opinion, not to hold. Yes, there are obvious risks associated with holding it. We're not trying to say there aren't. There's risk with everything. There's no free lunch. But in terms of looking at the entire asset class and figuring out, okay, if I only want to pick, say, 4 or 5 coins, which ones do I want to pick? Chainlink is one of them. And you can see how well it has outperformed Bitcoin over the last 2 or 3 years or so. I mean, 3 years at this point, because we're comparing to the end of 2017, and now we're looking at the end of 2020. So we look at this and we say, wow, this is this since inception, we've gone up, orders of magnitude, around 10 to the minus 5. We peaked above 10 to the minus 3. Now we've come back down. But I mean, we're on the scale of 2 orders of magnitude here. So, I mean, obviously it's less because we have retraced some. But still, this is an incredible move during a very uncertain time in the cryptocurrency market and a very fearful time in the cryptocurrency market. Link was moving up against Bitcoin. So now what we're waiting for, simply put, is for Bitcoin volatility to reduce and stay above the 20-week. We get those two things to happen. I think Link is the catalyst is there. The catalyst is there to set it up for another short-term speculative bubble, right? And I want you to be pragmatic about it when, if and when it does come up here and continues another bubble, and we make a video in a few months saying, okay, we said this was going to happen, and now we're watching this new bubble form. Remember, don't fall for the this time is different type thing, that it has to go up forever. We do anticipate this move. The probability that this move continues, in my opinion, is a lot higher than the probability that it just continues to go up and up and up without any corrections. So just keep that in mind. This chart is really interesting because if you look at these three moves, let's break these up into 3 subcycles. So this one, and this one, and we're going to ignore this one because it was more or less a fake out when Bitcoin crashed back in March. So we have 3 subcycles against Bitcoin. Now let's look at the subcycle ROI against, not as measured against Bitcoin, but as measured against USD. This is actually on a log scale for some reason. But for each of those 3 cycles, from the bottom, the first one would have yielded you approximately a 9x ROI from the bottom. The second one would have been almost a maybe 17, 18x or so. And then the third one would have been around a 10x or so. So and these are just simply measured those 3 major moves that we're looking at. So this move, and this move, and this is why we follow Link, because you see how incredible these moves can be. Had you got in at the bottom, or essentially once Bitcoin got above the 20-week moving average, these 3 separate times, and you held for, say, in one instance, a couple months, in the other few instances, 5 or 6 months, you would have been looking at approximately a 10x ROI. Now, as we continue on through the cycle, I don't necessarily think that these ROIs will stay like this, but they might, right? There's a very good chance they could. Again, we don't know what Link can do during a bull market. And so when we talk about $100 Chainlink or higher, it's often met with a lot of you know, skepticism, as it naturally should. And I think that anyone that tells you otherwise is they're just shilling stuff, right? Yeah, Link can go to $100. It could also not go to $100. So be pragmatic about it. I would say don't bet the family farm on it. This is not financial advice. If you make a decision, you're responsible for it. But I just want you to consider, historically speaking, this is looking at Link, this would be a theoretical reaccumulation territory. And if you look at the Link Bitcoin valuation in Satoshis, and we try to identify our quote unquote non-bubble data and fit an exponential fit to it for Link, this is what you get. We identify a tolerance band that we're okay accumulating within. Can't really see what's going on because it's on a linear scale. Switch it to log, it becomes crystal clear. Link Bitcoin valuation, reaccumulation phase, reaccumulation phase, reaccumulation, 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 reaccumulation. What do you guys think this one is? I mean, we had all these subcycle peaks against Bitcoin. Where are we now? So keep it in mind, right? Keep it in mind. Not saying you need to go buy a Link. You do whatever you want. I just want people to be aware that we're back well within this reaccumulation band, which is already an exponential fit. One thing we know is that the exponential move against Bitcoin, so the move of Link against Bitcoin, exponentially speaking, this non-bubble data exponential fit, it will not last forever. At some point, it will likely level off. I don't know when that point will be. We also made the same claim way back over here several hundred days ago. And a lot of people said, yeah, it's not gonna keep going. Well, we said, you know what? The trend suggests that that's probably the most likely future direction. So we'll continue to assume that it is, and it was, and it continues to be so every step of the way. And so one of the things that I like to do personally is take advantage of these short-term speculative bubbles of Link against Bitcoin. This is important to me because I don't personally like holding a lot of coins just indefinitely. I like to get back in when we're in reaccumulation phase and take my profits when we're not. And of course, if you just want to hold Link for a few years, there's nothing wrong with that. You have to figure out what's best for you. But for me, my sort of motto is never let a good bubble go to waste. And I don't, right? I don't. I live by that. And so here, if we just quickly look, this is the log scale for anyone who wants to pause the video and just look at the log scale, where it's time is also on a logarithmic scale. But this is our Link Bitcoin risk metric, and it helps us to identify these local tops. And when we're in our reaccumulation mode, it helps us to identify that as well. And so what I like to do is take advantage of these moves. And you might say, well, it's easy to say now, because hindsight, right? We set it all the way up. We have the premium list into the cryptoverse.com. We were taking profits all the way up. My last sell was at $18.50. The Link Bitcoin risk metric peaked out at the very top, and we said there's a good chance this is the top. Taking a lot of profits at $18.50. I sold, by the time we got to $18.50, I sold 2/3 of my Link position, and then I waited to buy back in. And you might say, well, hindsight's 2020 again. Well, we identified where the accumulation zone is and where these peak points are. And there's two main things that I like to see for Link reaccumulation, right? So the first one is I would like to see the Link Bitcoin risk be below 0.65, because historically speaking, this is our reaccumulation mode. Now, does that mean we cannot fall below 0.5 risk? Of course we could fall below 0.5 risk. We've done it before. We fell below it in 2018. We were below it in 2017. So, of course, the risk of Link against Bitcoin can go below 0.5. This is always a possibility. Again, there's no free lunch. If you have to take the risk, because you don't have to, right? But if you want the potential high return, the risk has to be taken. You could have said the same thing down here, down here, down here, down here, and then down here. And every step of the way, it was a risky move, and it has continued to pay off time and time again. Now, that's one thing I like to see. The other thing I like to see is I like to see the Link USD risk metric be below 0.5, which we're not right now. And it did get below 0.5 twice over the last 2 or 3 months. The first time was when it went to $7. The second time is when it went to $8. You might say, well, that doesn't make sense. Well, the risk levels are dynamic. They change over time. So it gave us two really conservative entry points into Link. It's not all about, it's not all about buying Link and selling it just based on emotion. It's trying to get it at like the best possible time in terms of risk. It's not about your returns. It's about your risk adjusted returns. And by personally waiting until the risk is below 0.5, by the way, the 0.5 risk level is higher than $8 now. But if you guys want access to that indicator, then you'll need to sign up at intothecryptoverse.com. You get access to the weekly reports, weekly videos, some of the trading view indicators that we have, the risk levels, the risk dashboard, which is what I use to trade, as well as a premium Telegram alerts channel and a chat room. So you get a lot of stuff, and I will say I've gotten a lot of requests to do this. We are running a Black Friday special, if you will. We're just going to run it for a couple weeks. But if you go to the link in the description below, so there's a special link you can find in the description below. I'm putting this at the end of the video just so that the people actually watch the whole video will know about it. I'm putting a link in the description below. So for those who want to get a discount on the monthly subscription, just the monthly subscription, you can do that by following the Black Friday link, and then you can just stay at that level as long as you don't cancel. So I just want people to be aware that it exists. If that's not your thing, that's fine. But at the very least, subscribe to the channel, give the video a thumbs up, check out the Telegram channel in the description below, and feel free to check out the premium list if you want access to a little bit more exclusive content during these crazy times within the cryptocurrency asset class. I hope this video was enjoyable to you guys. Let me know what you guys think about it in the comments below, and I'll see you next time. Bye.